Officially, Egyptian history begins in 3100 to 3200 BC. The fact that a city was found in Abydos that dates from approximately 7,000 years ago shows how old the site is. It's important to remember that Abydos is the site of Osiris. He lived in Abydos, home of his main temple, the Osiris. Osiris died around the time of the last great flood, aka 10,000 years ago. So finding a 7,000-year-old city in this location reveals how ancient the site truly is. It is very likely that the city was found 400 meters away from Seti I's temple. It probably belonged to the Shemsis, Osiris's followers, otherwise known as the watching angels in the Bible. Egyptian funerary texts tell us that Osiris lived there with his Shemsis, his entourage.
This mysterious temple complex, called the Osirian, is built at such a level that it fills with water. Could this be an ancient technology dating back to 10,000 years ago? Matthias de Stefano explains that the technology presented in this subterranean Osirian temple connects back to Atlantis.
This temple has been built as a point of connection. What people in Atlantean times did was to use water as a way of bringing information. So they would storage information in the water, and in that way they would also transmit the information through the blood by the bath, like all other cultures did. So this temple was about to put heaven and earth both together in the blood of people, so they could have the information of both parts of the reality as one. And of course, as the pyramids, the way of building it was to bring the stones from far away to by sound. The technology was a sound, so all the structure was about how to bring the information of the cosmos into the blood, into the cells by vibration, by sound. So this is why this is the first place in history where you find the flower of life.
In my opinion, there is an irrefutable link between the Osiris and Atlantis. The Edfu texts that mention Atlantis speak of a temple called the Bu Enem, which translates to the place of the cistern. This corresponds exactly to the Osiris. In my opinion, the Bu Enem is the prototype of the Osiris. It must have been the same type of structure in both Atlantis and Abydos.
If the Osirian temple connects back to Atlantis, then is it possible that Osiris himself connects back to Atlantis?
Since 2007, I've been working on an important thesis which explains that Osiris is the god found known as Enki at Sumer. They are one and the same. Sumerian texts constantly refer to Enki welcoming nobles and commoners in his aquatic temple. Numerous Sumerian and Akkadian seals show Enki in a structure with columns and surrounded by water. It is clear that it is the Osiris temple. In my opinion, Enki and Osiris are one and the same. He was Enki, Lord of the Earth, to the Sumerians and Azar, his true Egyptian name. And Osiris is the Greek one, to the Egyptians. He lived for a long time in the Osirian temple, where he welcomed his people and preached the good word. Both Enki in Sumer and Osiris in Egypt were close to the people and taught them. Enki in Sumer is the famous biblical serpent. Certain tablets refer to him as the serpent. An important element linked to both Abydos and my theory that Enki is Osiris is that Enki regularly lived in an aquatic temple known as Abzu, according to Sumerian texts. The site of Abydos is pronounced Abju in Egyptian, which means the reliquary hill. Why hill? We know there was a hill over the Osirian temple on which grew trees. When does Enki become Osiris? The Sumerian tablets mention Enki with the Nungal, his entourage, who will become the Shemsis in Egypt, and the Anuna, Enlil's followers, or Sets, in Egypt. At first, Enki is very present. Many tablets explain that he came to Earth with the gods and that he settles in the Karsag Mountains and creates the garden known as Eden. But it is obvious in the Sumerian texts that Enki does not get along with the Anuna. Enki eventually leaves the Anuna clan and goes to live in the Atlantean Islands and in Egypt, which is where he settles and creates his site at Abydos. This is where he officially becomes Azar, or Osiris.